And welcome into Bon Appetit. The Alabama National Fair is right around the corner. October the 6th through the 15th, 10 wonderful days to see the fair, go to the creative living cooking demonstrations and judging, because today we have with us again back Melissa Welch, and you're not a stranger to being here, are you? No, you've been here quite a few times, and this year you were Cook of the Year and also Baker of the Year.
That's right.
And one of the things that made you the baker is something I love. If anybody says you want a slice of pound cake, I'm in.
Well, this one's good. It's an orange cream pound cake.
Ooh, and I love orange.
Trying to come up with something that's different is always a challenge, because there's so many good cooks. And I think the pound cake competition is one of the biggest that's there in the Creative Living Center.
Is that right?
And it's always good. And there's so many different varieties of pound cake and just different flavors, but it's wonderful.
And this one's, like you say, it's an orange.
It's an orange cream. If you think about an orange creamsicle growing up and eating that good, refreshing orange creamsicle, that's what it reminds me of. And I took a basic sour cream pound cake and added different flavorings and glazes to get this cake. So,
and we'll have the recipe for you, by the way. Just call 277-5000. I'd love to email it to you, because then I can send them all real easy.
That'll be great. Like Mr. Jack said, you will have the recipe, and I've got almost all the ingredients here today, but I did forget one ingredient. So check the recipe when you get it. It won't be on the table.
We're going to do Where's Waldo?
We will.
Where's the ingredient?
We will. But with this cake, I just want to touch on doing a basic pound cake, because a pound cake, my favorite part of a pound cake is that good sugary crust that's on the top. That good crust. And you get that from creaming butter and sugar. And the longer you cream it, the more crunchy, the more crust you're going to have on the top. It just makes a difference. If you put it in, your butter needs to be at room temperature, and you put it in the mixer and you beat it. And I beat almost 25 minutes to get that top like that. So, and while that's going on, you continually, you scrape down the sides of your pan, of your mixing bowl, and then you do other things while you're doing that. You get everything ready. You prepare your pan with flour, and I use Crisco. You can use butter, but I don't recommend using the spray. Now, some people like the cooking spray, but for me, this particular cake, it did very well with the Crisco and the flour to grease the pan.
And I think it just gives it that right touch too.
It does.
I do.
It does.
Yes.
But this one, it's sweet, and I know you have to be particularly careful of not consuming too many sweets. But it does have some good things in it too, because it has orange juice. It has fresh oranges and orange juice.
Get a little vitamin C.
A little bit. A little bit. We got to include something in there.
I got to have some reason that I can eat it.
Right. But this cake has 6 eggs. And the only other leavening agent that it has is just a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. And you wouldn't think that would do a lot, but with those 6 eggs, it makes it rise really, really nicely. But the texture is good on this as well.
And of course, the key is moderation, from my perspective.
Right. I think for all of us.
Have a bite. Yes.
I think for all of us. It's hard to have one bite, though. You got to have a slice.
I know.
But one thing that I did differently on this cake is once it was baked and cooled, I did an orange syrup, and that was I used fresh oranges and squeezed, and I got a 1/2 cup of orange juice, and I mixed that with a 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, and cooked that on the stove until it dissolved really well. And then I spooned and spooned and spooned and brushed that all over the top of the cake and let it soak in. I set it on a pan so it could drip and wouldn't get all in the bottom of the pan to make it soggy. And you do that. And then another thing, the glaze on top is a browned butter glaze. And you brown your butter. I use unsalted butter. If you use the salted, it doesn't tend to do as well. It'll burn quicker, I think. But you just put that in a small saucepan and turn it on like medium high, and you swirl it. You do not stir it, and it takes about two and a half, 3 minutes.
Like this.
Swirl your pan, just swirl it, and once you see it start to change color, you need to really pay attention, because it can go from changing color to being burnt really quick.
Yes.
So, and you don't want it burnt, you want it browned. So once you see that, take it off the eye because you're going to immediately start seeing little brown flecks in the bottom, and that's where the flavor comes from. You put that in a mixing bowl, and you mix confectionery sugar, powdered sugar with that, and a little bit of orange flavoring. And that orange flavoring is what I used in the cake and on the top of the glaze, which just gives that wonderful dreamsicle. But then just drizzle, and then I also grated a little bit of orange zest to go on top and just sprinkle that on top. So that's how I came up with that one. Like I said, there were so many wonderful cakes there.
Wow.
I'm just really, really happy.
So I think the judges, when they took a bite of that, they went, whoa.
I did. I surprised myself with this one. But I have to tell you, you never know what's going to happen because I had 2 cakes to fail. I did a 3rd cake that night before, and this was at 2 o'clock in the morning that I put the 4th cake in the oven, and the 4th cake was the charm, and it was one of the best cakes I've ever made. And so, it's all trial and error. You don't know the competition. You want to do best, and I thought, I was Baker of the Year the previous year, and I thought, I can't fail on a cake. I have to keep going. So, keep going, and it did pay off. But it was a really good cake, and we've enjoyed this since then.
Blue Ribbon Pound Cake. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And just remember this, that the Alabama National Fair, they're still accepting persons that want to be in the cooking competition. Just go to the fair's website and you can get registered. And we'll be right back right after this.